Okay, so I've decided to make my own video on how to make this infinity scarf so that you can kind of view it from over my shoulder, which is how you would view it looking at your own hands. So first of all, you're going to need 2 big rolls of wool. The Thick and Quick is the one I usually use, but this one is a little different and kind of a little fancier looking that I wanted to try and experiment with, and it is number 6, and then the Thick and Quick that I usually use is also number 6 as well. So you're going to need 2 of those, a pair of scissors, and your arms and hands, which are, of course attached to you. So you're going to take the 2 ends out of your bundles of each one, put them together, don't tie a knot or anything. You're going to measure out around 4 feet-ish, like that. When you're at your 4 foot, I want you to make just a loop, and you're going to make yourself a little slip knot in here, kind of like this. Okay? Place that on your arm, whichever arm you're most comfortable with. You can try it my way. And then if you find that you're a lefty or a righty or what have you, it doesn't really matter which arm you start on, just pick one. Now this is the tail, so the one that's not attached to the big bundles, and this is the one that is attached to the bundles. So you put it not real snug, but somewhat tight, just so that you can keep control of it. The snugger it is, the harder it is to get on and off the arm, but the smaller the links are. The looser it is, the looser the links will be in your scarf. So I just kind of put it tight with maybe a finger or 2 extra that I could pull tight to have. So now you're going to take the tail and you're going to put it around your thumb. You're going to grab onto it with your fingers and put it like this, so it kind of looks like it's going around in a circle. You're going to grab the piece that's attached to your wool and put it over your index finger, and you're going to grab a hold of that as well. Now feel free to rewind and figure out how it is that I grabbed a hold of it. I'll show you one more time. Is the tail, the attached part. You have this on your thumb. Grab it. You have this over your finger and grab it. Now you're going to take your hand and you're going to go under, over, and bring it through, and then it attaches onto your arm. Again, the tail, the attached part. Tail is just hanging out on your thumb, like so. Then you grab it. This is going over your fingers, and you grab it. It's just hanging on to it. It's just dangling there and hanging on. Now you take your hand, you're going in this one, and then you're going to come around this one and pull it through. And then you're just going to keep putting it down the arm as you go along. We'll keep doing another one over your thumb, grab it, over your finger, grab it, now come up, around, and pull it through. So you're going to continue that. I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches so far. The more stitches that you do, the thicker your scarf is going to be, or the wider your scarf is going to be. I made one for my daughter that was 7, made one for myself that was 14. So you can decide on how many you want to do and kind of go from there. Okay, so now that you have 14 or 7 or however wide you want your scarf, the amount of stitches that you have. It'll kind of look like this. If it doesn't look like this or quite as neat, that is definitely okay. And this is only my second scarf ever, so you get kind of good at it really quickly because it's quite simple. This piece is your tail, and you're just going to leave it. That's the part that's not attached to anything. Just leave it alone. Just put it on the ground, pretend it doesn't exist anymore. Now you're going to grab on to the part that is attached to the bundles. I want you to just spool out some to give yourself some space, because you don't want to be tugging on the spools while trying to put it around your wrist at the same time and get frustrated and kind of mess up. And yes, I'm speaking from experience. So now that you've pulled them all out, remember, leave the tail out and out of the way. I want you to grab on to the piece that is attached to the spools. You're going to hold it. Now you're going to grab that stitch. The stitch consists of those two pieces. You're going to pull it over your hand. You're still hanging on to that line. So this just came off of your wrist and over top. And then you're just going to put it on your other wrist. Grab on and pull it tight. The first little bit is tricky because there's so many different lines and everything, and you get a little confused. So let's try it again. You're grabbing on the hand that has everything already on it, the first one you put. You're going to grab onto those two pieces, over top, let it just hang, and then this one goes over top of your hand. Now you want to pull it somewhat snug, just like however tight it was on your other hand, so that the rings are the same throughout the whole scarf. So again, you're hanging on, bringing it over, then putting it on this arm instead, pulling it tight. And you go through until you've got them all over on this hand instead. It looks like chaos, it looks like a mess, I promise. Just be patient with yourself, and eventually you'll have a finished product that looks pretty good. If in the end you find some of the rings are not exactly the same as the other ones, or you have a line of them that are too big or too little, you really can just easily take it apart and redo it once you get the hang of what you're doing. So just expect your first one to just be kind of your practice, learn how to knit with your arms, and then the next ones that you go, you can try to perfect them a little bit more. And again, I'm going through all of the rings until they're all on the other arm. And then you'll have something that kind of looks or resembles this. If it doesn't resemble that, it's okay, because it's just your first one. So the tail is over here, so it's out of the way. You don't have to worry about hanging on to it now. And now you just grab with that hand. You're going to take it off of this hand, let it hang, and put it back on the other arm. Snug it up, grab on, bring it over, put it on, snug it up. And keep going until all of the stitches are on the other arm. Again, it looks like chaos when you're in the middle of doing it. And that's okay. Just keep going. Pulling it tight, pulling it snug. As long as you want tight rings. And then you're all on this arm again. Now, as you can probably see, it looks like it's going around my wrist. That can happen, and I did this one on purpose to show you that you just straighten it out, bring it around your wrist so that they're all lining up like that. And I tend to just put your hands in, pull, get your hand in the next level, sort of pull it down, snug it up a bit, all the rings. Make it kind of look very similar, and then if you pull, you can see that you're starting to make a scarf. Now you just continue this process until the desired length that you want. I usually use probably almost the entire bundle to do a scarf, and then once you get to the length that you would like, I will then show you how to close it off and then attach it to the other end to make an infinity scarf. Okay, so now that you have your infinity scarf as long as you want it, as you can see, it kind of will look like this. And the length is as long as you want to make it. Now, what I do to see how long I want it to be, I take one end and I put it in my hand of the other, and then I take it and I wrap it around my neck, and then see if I can wrap it around one more time. So it's going around twice around your neck. If that is too tight, then make just a couple of more rotations to one arm to the other, and then try it again. Just keep in mind that it is a scarf, so you want to have it somewhat snug because it is meant to keep you warm. But also, as you wear, this may stretch a little bit, so you want it somewhat snug so that it doesn't stretch out too big later on that you no longer want to wear it. So, if you've got the desired length that you want, the next thing is to close it off. Also, just some advice that if you are going to make one of them, set yourself aside a good hour, especially if it's your first one, just so that you'll have time to completely finish it. If for some reason something comes up, you need to deal with the kids, or you are a kid and your attention span has just been reached, you are welcome to put a rolling pin in to hold it for you until you come back to it again. So you never have to worry about it getting wrecked. Just don't take it off completely and leave it, because when it's off of your arm and this gets pulled, you can pull it completely out all the way down to nothing. So, that being said, if you make a mistake or there's something in the middle that you're like, oh, I just don't like that, how did that happen? You can undo it all without ruining your wool. So, just know that there is a way out if you do mess up, because I have done that. Now, you are here, you have your working yarn, which is the one that is attached to the roll. You're going to hang on to it, again, just like you switch over to the other arm. You're going to go like this. And now, of course, it looks like you're just adding on another ring and another line of stitches, but you're going to have another one come over. You're going to go like this, and now you're going to take that first one you put on and you're going to drop it down here. Okay? You're still hanging on to this working yarn. You're grabbing, you're putting it over, you're putting this over this one. Hang on to it. You're taking this and you're dropping it. Okay? I'll keep doing it until I'm finished. Grabbing it over, putting it over that arm, hanging on to that working yarn, bringing that first one over and pulling it tight. Keep going. Until you have all off of one arm. Sometimes you lose the end, but that's okay. Keep going. All the way to the end. Till you have one stitch left and you're hanging on to this one like so. Now what I do to finish it is you're going to grab on to and put this one on over top, grab here and put it over. I always like to do just one extra in the end there. So then you have this and this. I'm going to take those scissors. I like to cut myself just a little bit of slack in case I decide I've made a mistake or I need extra. Cut. Now take this end and put it all the way through. And then pull your ends snug. And that will close off this end of your scarf. So now that you've made the scarf, you can either just leave it open and have it as a scarf, or what I liked to do was turn it into an infinity scarf, which means the ends are attached and there is no break in the scarf. So if you can see, the scarf kind of curls in on one side rather than the other. You want to make sure that you lay it out so that both ends are the same. Lay it on the ground or wherever to help you attach them. So we've got the two ends and we are going to attach them together like this. So you should have a tail on one side and a bit of a tail on the other side. Now all you're going to do with those tails is you're going to weave it in and out and pull a knot, in and out and pull a knot, in and out and pull a knot until it's completely attached. I'm going to change the camera angle so that I can try to show you on the table. Okay, so now I've laid it out on the table, flat, one over the other, both ends, one side that you want to attach. Now you're going to take one end, you're going to put it through, and there's a hole in the end. Okay. Like that. You're going to put it over top and bring it through to just tighten up and create a knot right there. A little difficult to do with one hand, a little easier to do with two, and then you're just going to continue on, put it through both, show you one more, put it through both, through the top level, and now through the bottom level. Again, very difficult to do with one hand. Once it's through the bottom level, you're going to bring it in and around and tie it tight. You're going to go all the way across till you come to the end. Okay, so once you've gone all the way across, doing your little knots, you're going to have the end that you were going across with and your other end, and you're just going to put a knot in this and that, pull it tight, and then you're going to snip off your excess ends, and then you have your scarf. So here's the attached end. I usually put that in behind my neck, and then the rest of it kind of curls in, and you can put your head in and then twist it and put this over your head again, and you have a masterpiece. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see everybody's creation.